Welcome all to the Vivian Show. This is the very first episode.
Nice.
So I'm excited to have Zef and Jacob on this first episode. So I'm Vivian, your host. I have been in this game since I'm 19. So I have been doing a lot of sales, real estate, investments, flipping, all of it, you name it. I have also owned businesses, sold them, and finally I got invested all into real estate. So today we're going to be talking about sales and how sales can actually change your path, your career, although it's not for everyone. I got two great closers here with me today. So I'm going to give you guys a little intro before so people know who we're talking about. So my first guest is Zef. I have known you for a few years now, and you have been on the real estate industry for a little bit over a decade. On different brokers. Tell me a little more about your background and so people can get to know you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in real estate for a few years now. I started off with one brokerage, decided to make a change. Now I'm with the Perry Group, and I've been here since, a year ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, I've been in sales since I was like 21, 22, somewhere in there. So just a lot of experience dealing with different situations and learning as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jacob, born and raised in Texas.
Yep.
Born and raised in Texas.
Yep.
You got a lot going on.
Yeah.
You do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Lots of things.
I try. Yeah.
You're married. Oh, Steph is married and has how many kids do you have?
Kids.
2 kids.
Yep.
Solid.
And
And a wiener dog.
yeah. And you have also 2 kids.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So tell me a little more about your background, how you got in sales, why real estate.
Yeah. I realized I wasn't as like the smartest kid. You know, if you're super smart or if you have an inheritance, you're like, I can kind of coast in life. And I realized I'm not going to be able to coast in that. So I was like, I either get to do like a 9-to-5 job or I get to convince people to give me money, which is sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but no, I'll make a joke. I'm making light of that. It started really when I was in high school, when I realized I'm not going anywhere in life. So the first book I read was like my economics book.
Mm-hmm.
And I like read 2 pages and like passed out, fell asleep. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm bad at this. But I always loved hanging out with people. I love getting, like when people get excited, I get excited. You guys know my wife. She's like the most exciting person of all time.
Yeah.
And we're all ADHD. So we're all, so real estate's perfect because we can do multiple deals at the same time. But so when we left Texas to come to Utah, I started a service business, and that's really where I got into sales of like, and there's a little bit before that, but I'll just talk about this, is that's where you started meeting the objections and you start meeting all the sadness of like, people don't like me, and you realize, oh, it's not me. And you start learning all the curves of that. And then I got so burnt out in that business that I was like the first person to make me an offer on this business. I'm selling. I didn't say that, but I showed up to when I sold the business. The guy across from me brought his lawyer, and it was just me. I was like, looks good to me. And we got that deal done. But that's how I got into sales. My mom's a realtor. She's been a realtor for 30 years. My wife's been a realtor here in Utah for 10 years. The last thing I ever thought I would do is get into real estate. And, but I had a couple of talks with Jack. I went to one real estate conference, which
I bet that was really fun.
You're like, what's going on?
I was like, this is the craziest
you
club.
Go to the one in Texas?
Yeah, that's
the one in Dallas?
I was like, so that's actually a great way to recruit people if they like to have fun. Be like, hey, you think you've had fun in your life. Hang around a bunch of people who like to have fun.
Until you go to those real estate conferences, it's crazy. Yeah.
It's insane. And, but then I realized, I'm like, oh, I think I really like this idea of like potentially selling real estate to other realtors, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit. But, and so that's why I love sales. I think that everyone is in sales. My dad has drilled that into me as he's had 2 companies too. So yeah, long story made longer there.
Perfect. Okay. So a lot of people in sales, you either are really good or not that good in sales. But I feel like the more that you acquire those skills, the better it gets. And a lot of people think whether you're selling cars or selling real estate or selling makeup, whatever it is that you're selling, you do have to acquire those skills. Okay, I'm going to read this out loud. Sales is one of the few careers where your path can change overnight if you're willing to put in the work. It's not about luck, it's about discipline, mindset, and how you show up every single day. Like, I have been doing this since I'm 19, but I have done different kind of sales. And yeah, it's not even like, dude, English is my second language. And I'm like, it's pretty hard to sell. But the more you do it, the less the hassle it seems. And I was thinking about athletes. We actually had team meeting this morning, and our team lead was saying that the best athletes, they do a lot of reps. They go and keep learning and learning and learning. And I think that's one of the things about being on sales. And so if we could talk a little more your early beginnings, and a lot of people think, because they see us now, oh, you're closing a lot of deals. Like me, when I joined the Perry Group, I joined, did the training for a little bit, I got the email, and then I was like contract under contract. But it wasn't luck. And I'm like, well, I have been selling for a while now, so I know how to handle those things. The only thing I needed to learn was the system that they have. But talk to me a little more about your background in sales. Was it really hard at the beginning? And what's the hardest deal that you guys have ever done?
Okay.
Go for it, Zef.
Okay. So my background in sales, it kind of all started just for the fact that before I worked in sales, I did a lot of labor jobs, right? And you got paid the same as everybody else around you, right? So let's say you got paid $20 an hour, and you all have the same job, but guess what ends up happening? Someone ends up being lazy, right? There's always one or two people that do the minimum and still get paid the same amount, right? So for me, that was a big eye opener. It's like, well, if I put in more work and I put in more time and I put in more effort with sales, I can make more money. That to me was the sell for me, that was the point that made me convince myself that, hey, this is what I want to do. And at the end of the day, one of my old mentors told me, you're getting paid to talk. You're just talking to people and you're making money.
Yeah.
And to me, that just really made sense.
And can I tag that? It is especially real when wages were a little bit smaller, but it used to crack me up when someone would get really excited about $1 raise.
Yeah.
That they're like, hey, I'm going to work as hard as I can for the next 6 months, a year, and I might get, okay, so I'm making 20, 25 an hour. I'm going to get up to 30 an hour.
Right.
Which is like awesome. That's really, really nice. But in the sales world, all you got to do is just get 20 people to tell you no.
Yeah.
And then you get that 21st person to tell you yes. And you just made that salary. And then all you have to do is do that again the next day. Yeah. And that's where I was like, you were working so hard. And I know you. Like, I love you. And you're working so hard for a $1, $2, $3 raise when you could be in sales and be your own boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. Was it really hard? Like, when you first started doing real estate, like talking to people and trying to close a deal?
I think it's not that it was hard. It was just more of the unknown, right? Because I've been in sales before, but what was funny is that some of my old sales trainings were actually hurting me because I was coming in and trying to sell people instead of talk to them and figure out their problems and a solution to it. Yeah. So it just sounded way too salesy at first.
Right.
And I was actually hurting myself. So I had to reset, take a step back and change my approach to be more people oriented, right? Yeah. Not just chasing a paycheck. So I think that's the biggest difference.
Utah is known for having great salespeople, but they're all kind of sales. So if you want to get into any kind of sales, I will say try to look for what kind of sales you're going to be doing. If you're selling cars, it's a little different. Yeah. Or like real estate, you actually got to listen to people and people's needs. Like it's not like you can cut them off and I'm like, they're giving you everything. You just need to slow down and listen to what they have to say. So tell me a little more about your hardest deal ever.
I feel like all of them, maybe.
That's what some days.
The last deal, and then it's like each time you do a really crazy, because you do. That's what's funny about real estate agents is they get so much credit for making a lot of money on the home run deals. But how many, like that's probably a good number to ask is like, let's say on an average, let's say 100 deals. Let's say 100 deals is done in 1 year. How many of those were really, really hard? What would the percentage of that be? 70?
Yeah.
Probably 70 to 80, depending on.
And how many of those deals would you want to quit real estate forever?
Yeah.
10%.
Yeah.
65 of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the emotional side is always difficult, but the deal that I did in Texas, you guys will laugh at this, was supposed to be done last year, but it got done in January. And if you're a realtor that was born earlier before me, you will laugh at this, but it got so bad to the point that I was working with so many people that I was having to run documents to people, and I already know, like my mom, she's gonna be laughing at hearing running documents to people. But I love electricity and I love being able to send things. But this was a really funny situation. I'm gonna try not to botch it, but I had a client come up to me and goes, "Hey, I want to go buy this house." Didn't hear from for like a year. Later on, he goes, "Hey, I found the house." I go, "I found you." And we go to this deal. He's buying this house in Fort Worth. It's not quite a barn dominium, but it's beautiful. He's going to turn it into like a glass. What is that thing where you blow glass? What is it called? Glass blowing. Yeah,
Glass blowing.
English. So glass blowing. So he wants to do all these things, and we find out that he's able to do it. We get all that process of going through the city and calling everybody, because as a realtor, you have to be professional at glass blowing, apparently. And I find out that his money that he was going to use didn't work out. So he's going to go through his girlfriend, the whole situation. But his girlfriend's parents have the money, and they just got divorced. And then as soon as we get closer to the closing table, the father, who has half the money, disappears. Turns out he almost died.
Wow.
Which almost killed the deal. Yeah. Just kidding. Bad joke. Edit it up. But actually, it was really crazy. So we're having to run to the hospice place he was at.
Wow.
Try to get this deal done. Back and forth.
Did you go there to sign the document?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was just kind of like.
So
there are.
What did you say? Like, "Hey, I'm here. Can you sign?"
He's like, "Who are you?" We almost scammed him. No, it was a real deal, a real thing, and they wanted this for their daughter, who they had a common law marriage. And even what I'm saying right now, there was so many variables and details to it that if you don't have a good team, and if you don't have like a good system, and if you don't have a good level of ADHD, you will lose it. Yeah. I think that is the funny thing, is most realtors are fun because they can handle a lot of things, but there were so many different details that I think that the normal person would look at this job and be like, I don't want to be emotionally abused like that, because this is the biggest decision of most people's lives. Yeah. And they do get emotionally, they for whatever reason, they will emotionally abuse you. It's just part of it. Yeah. And we have to be able to respond to it.
I feel like a lot of people get into the business because they think they just see the commission.
Yeah.
And they go after, and they go after the money until they get in. That's why real estate agents, they don't make it on the first year or 18 months. There are studies made. They don't make it over a year or 18 months, and they quit because they think, oh, I'm just going to sell a few homes, get all this money. But then actually owning a business, it's a lot more. You got to pay taxes. You got to do this. And then if you're with a team, it's actually not the full commission. You haven't told me your hardest deal.
Yeah. So it was a crazy one. So I had a client that they were buying a home with somebody else. And the other person was actually out of the country. I think they were in India or somewhere, like a whole different time zone, completely different time of day, right? And so they were trying to get it all done, but we could do things only during, daytime hours here, which was his nighttime hours there. And so number one, the communication was crazy. Finally, we got everything settled. We were good. Then something happened and she decided she wanted to cancel. Okay. And I'm like, okay, that's,
part of it.
Yeah, part of the
Gotta just
kind of walk her through it, give her options. She was like, nope, I want to cancel it. Okay, no worries. So we cancel. Not even 3-4 days later, hey, I want to get that house back under contract. Okay, so now I have to go, talk to the agent, position our deal as,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. As, hey,
it's me, it's not you.
Yeah, it's us. So sorry, but here's where we're at. Okay. Luckily, I was still able to work out a few deals and get her some, concessions and things like that. So I was still able to work a lot of it through it. But that was just the beginning. Then we had another speed bump, and then another speed bump, and then another speed bump. Then we were just trying to figure out, okay, is this actually going to work out? Is it not? She started getting cold feet, which is understandable, but it was like everything that could go wrong with that deal was happening, plus the time zone differences, plus this person not being here and having to, e-sign everything and trying to get them on the phone. So just imagine trying to coordinate everything.
It's a lot.
All at the same time.
And that's funny because I've had a couple clients, and my wife's had a couple clients, but you go to sleep or you get a text right before you go to sleep, and it's the worst feeling.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're up all night.
And you wake up in the morning, you're like, I just don't want to check my phone.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna look at, and you're like, oh, but I gotta make money, flip it over, and you're like, no.
Oh, yeah. And my problem is that I will check it, and then I will think of a way to fix that problem right now, even though I should just deal with it tomorrow.
So overall, being a sales person, it means like solving problem, listening to people, being really good with your emotions. I think that's, if you're really good with your emotions and you don't like your emotions, not that you have to be a robot, but you cannot be emotional because you're directing people on a transaction.
Right.
Those are like basic skills. And if you don't have them, you can acquire them as you go. And I think every transaction is going to teach you something until you get it. And if you don't learn it, it's going to keep happening until you learn it. Zef was saying something about why persistence beats talent every time, especially on sales, because I've seen a lot of people joining as a new real estate agent, and they are not the best, right? But they are very persistent. They're like, I don't care. I think they have this newy kind of like something inside of them that they just want to do it, right? And they go to the office every morning and they try to learn, and they keep going and going and going. So talk to me about persisting beating talent. Sometimes, especially when you're first starting on sales, I'm just going to show up and I'm going to go to the trainings and I'm going to try to figure it out.
I'll say a couple things. I want to hear this genius. Is that marketing advice guy? I do. I take a pay attention. Where's the camera? I am not built for ultra running, but for whatever reason, I can go to that place in my head where I will say a lot of bad words in my mind to like just keep going.
Right.
And what I found is I can typically run further than most people for whatever reason. And I think it also helps not being, sometimes it's a good thing to not be the smartest person, because then you can come to wrong conclusions,
right?
Both sides. But in certain races that I've done, I've ran past people that started out going way faster than me. And I caught up to people on their phone calling an Uber because they gave up in the middle of the race. Yeah. I passed one person one time and he's like, I'm done. And he got down, he laid on the ground, and I was like, if I stop, my legs will stop. So I have to keep going. See you later. But that's the same in real estate.
Yeah.
Is there are a lot of people who do start out hot. They have this vision and stuff like that. And I think that in real estate, if you are persistent and you keep chopping that tree, one day you will wake up and you'll be like, oh, look at this. Yeah. I have a business. I actually have clients, repeat clients now. You have to be a little overconfident. You have to be like, you know what? I do have the ability to be a top performer.
A little bit delusional.
I feel like real estate's sales career is the one place where you are okay being a little delusional, because if you keep going at it, you'll eventually land in a spot that you'll look back and you'll be like, oh, okay. And you'll be a lot smarter. Yeah. This is the last thing I'll say on this, because I was thinking about this, I think about this a lot, is being in this career definitely makes you a better human because you face so many objections. Yeah. You have to practice on your personal self. You have to practice on your character. You have to practice when someone yells at you. Yeah. How do I respond in a way? Yeah. And eventually you get really, really good at that.
Yeah. Absolutely. See, what about you?
For me, I think I've seen too many different times where someone will come in hot, right? Like they just have this natural, almost like super high energetic vibe to themselves, right? Where they just can do it all right off the bat, right? But what ends up happening is that they get this almost crazy confidence that they forget how to do it.
Right.
So they don't have a process. They are just winging it every single time. And what ends up happening is that they burn out, right? Yeah. You start getting to the point where you're like, okay, well, I've used all my charisma up. What do I do now, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's usually what happens is someone that comes in really, really hot, if they don't have a process, they're going to fail naturally, just because they're not actually they're not actually doing the job. They're just kind of winging it, right?
Yeah.
On the other hand, I've seen people that they struggle, but they keep at it and they keep perfecting. That's kind of what happened to me when I first got into anything, right? When I first got into real estate, when I first got into sales, it was like, you'll fail, but instead of seeing that as like, oh my gosh, I suck, I would see it as like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Or maybe I should have said this a little bit different.
Yeah.
Or maybe I should have talked to him first and then done this, right?
Yeah.
So I see it more of almost like an opportunity to reset and restructure the way that I do my thing and actually take note of that and be like, oh yeah, I burned myself. I'm going to learn from that. I'm not going to do it again, right?
Those are the best learning lessons.
Yeah, because you know it's going to hurt and you don't want to get hurt again.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think like you need to learn from your mistakes. And I feel like owning a business, it really tests who you are. Owning your own business will test not only your values, but who you are as a person. And really your business is a reflection of who you are. I've seen people having that momentum going. What are some things that you can do to keep that momentum going? So how do you guys handle objections? Sometimes very nasty ones, I might say, to keep that momentum going. Because I think sales is a lot about mindset too.
For me, if I could start real quick, I think it's all about really just knowing what the objection is for, right? Once I've realized that the client is not rejecting me, but rejecting maybe the time frame or this house or the interest rate or something like that, then I know that it's not me that is the problem, right? So it's not about if they're going to work with me, it's when they're going to work with me. And I think for me, it just took a minute to reset that and be like, okay, well, yeah, he said he's going to wait 6 months, not a problem. I'll keep an eye on him. And in 6 months, we'll get him a house. And that's happened, right? We've all been into that position where someone's like, yeah, hit me up next summer.
Yeah.
And here we are closing this summer, right? So that's number one, is knowing that a no now is not a no later. And then on the other side of things, on a more salesy approach, 100 no's and a yes equals yes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how many times they tell you no. At the end of the day, if you're still moving forward and you're slowly creeping to that big yes, you're going to get that.
Question for you. So you mentioned you have last year, you have like multiple contracts going on under the same time, right? How do you keep that momentum going and not go over your head and like, okay, I got 100 closings. I'm like, how do you keep going? Because then you can keep like say, okay, I don't need to close that much. I'm like comfy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't have 100 closings, but that was the dream. But when you do get in those situations where you're like, uh-oh, you know, like it's like a good uh-oh, because there's both sides. You know, you'd rather be in the uh-oh, I've got a lot of business going on, rather than the oh blank, I need to go get a business. Yeah. You cry a lot. You
cry a lot.
Yeah, you lose a little sleep, and but if you have a team, the team helps you, because the team will balance you out. Like being a solo agent is awesome until it's not.
Yeah.
Like great, you're saving a couple extra $1,000 here, but man, to be able to like, what's that saying? If you want to go fast, leave now. But if you want to go far, go with someone.
Yeah.
It's the same way with a team, and it's much more fun. Like even today when Chris and our lead, he was giving credit to one of the high producers, to Haley.
Yeah.
I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you, Haley's leaving that meeting being like,
I'm doing a good job.
Because we need that. Because there are times this is what we signed up for. We signed up to be a high capacity producer.
Yeah.
So we know what we got ourselves into, but we're still human. And when we're human, we feel the weight of all of these different emotions, because we do love our clients. We do want to see the best for them. We do want them to have a great investment, because then they come back to us. You know, it's like it's a really good reward system. It's not just I'm here for $1. That being said, what I like to do when I'm in multiple things is I like to have a really good vision of the vacation I'm going to go do. I like to have a really good vision of like, hey, Jacob, if you run these extra miles, I'm going to get a Blizzard from Dairy Queen, extra M&Ms, extra Reese's. And sometimes I'll even lie to myself. I'm like, I'm going to get large. You know what I mean? Because the brain is really good at saying like, hey, you're drowning right now. You need it. But the reality is you're not.
Yeah.
The reality is it's just situations. You only have a certain amount of time in the day.
Yeah.
So if you have a team, use your team. Utilize those things. Yeah. And then reward yourself. Because the brain will be like, oh, you know what? I remember the last time we had 4, 5, 6 plus deals going on at the same time, and I got this reward.
Yeah.
And if you can trick your brain, you'll be able just to operate in that place a little bit more naturally.
Sometimes you get used to it because not to brag about our team, but
Brag.
we're pretty cool.
Yeah.
And sometimes we will like get contract under contract. In a month, we'll get multiple contracts, 5 closings, 6 closings, and then you get used to those things. So I will say, if you're in sales and looking into real estate or whatever your passion is, try to find good mentors and people that can help you lead the way. Because as you say, being a solo agent, it's really nice and cool until it's not, especially on tough markets. Because right now, real estate, it's not for the weak. It's not for the weak at all. I want to read this quote.
While you're reading that, do we know the percent of what they're saying? How many realtors will drop out because of this market? Do we know that?
I've seen a couple different numbers. It was like a high amount
Yeah.
at the beginning of the year. Now it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Better for us, less competitors.
Yeah.
Right? I want to read this because you were talking about how when you do things not because you're chasing the dollar amount or the commission, you actually get better results. However, we actually say when you put genuinely inspiration behind your actions, the whole world opens up to you. So if you're thinking about joining into real estate because of money, I'll say good luck with that. But try to find your passion and what you're really good at it. And then on the way, I will also encourage you to find a good broker, whether you're like looking at these here in Utah or worldwide or in the States. Find a good broker. I interview probably 10 different brokers. You're another broker before, and you have been on different brokers too. So I think that matters a lot. And joining a team, when you go to those interviews, I'll say instead of getting interviewed, you ask the questions.
Yes. Thank
That's,
you.
I think a lot of people don't know. And I've heard newer agents like, well, I hope that they let me on the team. And it's like, well, you need to figure out if this is good.
Yeah. Sometimes I have gotten text messages, I got picked by these.
That's a common misconception. And I think especially when you're new into real estate, you think it's just like a 9-to-5 job and, like a normal interview that you hope to get the job. But when you come in here, it's like you get to choose who you're going to be with every day and who's going to help you. And I think we're lucky that we have a really good team and really good group of people that help us guide and show us how to do things.
Yeah. On your best month, how many hours were you putting on real estate?
I feel like I almost want to flip it. How many hours did I have to myself?
Yeah.
Because in every business that I've been a part of, that takes all of your free space in your brain. And real estate, those people will be calling you. So I would say in the times that I've tried to go vacation, those are my busiest months.
That's funny.
I would flip it, but I don't know. That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I remember the busiest week that I remember. So I would wake up, start responding to emails, putting out any fires that need to be put out, responding to clients that need to be responded to.
Answering Zillow at the same time.
Then getting a Zillow call, then going to team meeting, then going to showings, then going to showings again, then going to showings again, then run back home, get something to eat, then go do something else, get an inspection. So it was like, that was probably one of the craziest times, right? Because you have so much going on. But then I had to remind myself, like, this is what I wanted, and it's kind of a good problem to have, especially when you've been or at the point where you were like, well, I didn't have any business, so it's a really good problem to have. But yes, it gets crazy and it's a fine balance. So I literally schedule everything. Try to put it all in there.
And I think that's probably just a really good learning lesson, like for perspective. If you are ADHD or if you are someone that just like tends to lose focus, it would be healthy for you to put like on your wall or near your desk, like where you were at and where you're going.
Yeah.
Because that way it'll balance you, because it is so easy to be in the moment.
Yeah.
That's what makes a really
and
good
get
realtor.
Distracted with other
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
But what makes a really good realtor is being in the moment and feeling the emotions that your client feels.
Yeah.
And, but then you got to be able to step out of that and be like, okay,
I'm the one leading these. Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. I heard Michael on his training sometimes when he shows up to these big events, he'll say that real estate is one of the few careers that you'll get rewarded big time if you actually put in the work.
Right.
It's one of the few careers actually in sales, because you have other type of sales that you can get that. But hey, what if next month you get a $10 million property under contract? That's what I'm saying. Like you can have, I think the sky honestly is the limit. As we say, you need to be a little delusional to get into this career. But I will say this is one of the few careers, and it's really, really hard because we invest a lot of time, but a lot of effort. And I think it's a lot of like mindset. I also think who we choose as a partner, it's very important in your career, because the amount of work that we put in, it's crazy. And I know both of you have great wives. So talk to me about, tell me about the role that your wives, both of you, play into that.
Yeah, for me, it's obviously just having that support. She's her own boss and she does her own thing too. So she kind of knows the game.
So
and
she
how
gets
it's
you.
done. Yeah.
That's
But at the same time, she also helps me set limits because I'm kind of a workaholic sometimes and I'll get going and I'll just won't.
Real estate, baby.
Yeah. And so she'll be like, hey, you need to, chill out
a little
make
bit.
some time for something else.
Same.
Yeah.
Just the other day. Same thing. I want you to finish, but I'm with you.
That's it. It's like, I guess at the end of the day, it's nice having someone that understands, but also it's like, hey, you need to reel it back in a little bit,
Well, because we just moved back to Utah and Holly's been still dual license. I'm in that zone right now where I'm like, okay, I got to fish. I got to go fish. I got to go to the pond. I got to go to the pond. I got to the pond. And she's just like, you're taking the day off today. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I can do that. That's fine. I'm like having to like the person with the bomb.
Yeah.
I'm like about to like explode. I'm like, and she's like, hey, don't blow the house up right now. I'm like, okay. Good.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's so important to choose the right partner that gets you, because if it doesn't, real estate is already hard. To have someone that it's dragging you down, it's not gonna end that good. So
and it's so important to like know yourself, because if you're already like me, I'm always running like an 8 out of a 10. Like I'm always running hot a little bit. If you answer like a lead, a Zillow call or someone, and you're like, they can tell. So it's so good for you to take that break, because if you're like, hey, what's going on? You're like, person's like,
whoa, this guy's coming at me hot.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh my gosh, like you're the best person I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Can I talk to that story?
Yeah.
I have maybe one of the best stories when it comes to this. I got a Zillow call from a young girl. It's like she's young enough to be like, oh, okay, it's probably your parents are going to be paying for this house. She goes, yeah, so we're going to all meet. In Texas, I had to drive a lot further to places. And so I go out to this house and her whole family's there. Not weird. But as we go in there, I'm like, we're doing the whole thing. And this is before we had the NAR sign and everything. So we were able just to show pretty easily. And we get in there and I'm like, okay, cool. And as I'm just talking and stuff, and they start mentioning how one of them one of their family is a realtor. And I go, oh, I'm like, I thought we talked on the phone about like, hey, I would love to help you guys through the purchase price. And then the girl turns to like her boyfriend and she goes, I told you not to say anything. And I'm sitting there at the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in that situation where I'm like, this is that deal.
Wow.
I'm just did all this for nothing. So anyway, I'm like, okay, I'm like, this is a cool house, whatever. Got to lock up. We get out of there, and I am so upset because we had plans. Everything is planned.
Yeah.
You have to throw your plans away. I went to like a gas station, like bought a lottery ticket. No. Save it. And then I get home, and I'm just like, I lost my lottery ticket. So I've lost more money on this now. And I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And Zillow calls again, and I'm like, oh. So I'm like, beep, and I see the name, and it's oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on her name now. It's Zoe. It's literally the girl from Gamora.
Oh, that's so cool.
Wow.
And
from the Guardians of the Galaxy.
And I get it, and I go,
no way.
And I'm talking, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this sounds just like her. And I have the recording. I'll have to let you guys listen to it later. But it was such a funny response of how one lead can be so rough, and then the next lead can be
The
Gold.
best.
Just-
golden.
just
Yeah.
incredible. And that's like a good definition of sales too,
Mhm.
is like you can feel that, like that lead before me, I was so mad I bought a lottery ticket. And then the next lead, it was really cool.
You're
Anyway,
about to throw it all away for that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like to close, the last topic is the future of sales. We got a lot of things coming, social media, branding. A lot of real estate agents or salespeople are not cold calling anymore. Some of them, they still do, and door knocking.
Mhm.
But a lot of them, like I know Hailey, she doesn't, most of her leads are coming from social media. Most of my things last year were coming from social media. And also we have AI. How do you think the future with AI and all of these things are going to look like in sales?
What's funny is that I think some agents see AI as almost like a replacement or something scary, something that's going to hurt them.
Mhm.
But in reality, I use it as a tool to make my job in life easier,
Mhm.
you know? So I think AI is just going to be something we use forever, you know? It's kind of like the internet. We
Yeah.
got the internet and now we're all on the internet, right?
Yeah.
So I think AI is the same way. You're just going to learn how to use it better and better and better. And really, if you actually get into it, right, and know and understand what it can do, it really could make your job a lot easier.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's still that personal aspect, right? And that's where social media comes in.
Mhm.
A lot of social media and things that you post and share, it's not really to sell anybody, but it's more to show off who you are and what you do and
Yeah.
your personality.
Mhm.
You know, there's sometimes I'll share something super dumb and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't share that. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like, that's
Yeah.
who I am.
That's
you know?
who you are. Yeah.
I'm going for it, baby.
Yeah. So
I feel like everyone on social media wants to show themselves like the perfect
Yeah.
real estate, perfect everything.
Not me.
But,
I'm out.
but I feel like if you actually show yourself who you are, people are gonna connect with you even better.
mhm.
What do you think?
I have a lot of thoughts. I think that if you wanted to get in real estate, this is going to sound so funny, maybe contradictory. The best possible time is right now in the next 3 to 5 years, because you guys, we felt it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I first got into real estate, same for you guys. How many agents did you talk to where they said this thing? I've been doing this for 30 years. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't hear that conversation anymore.
Not so much.
And the reason why is because those people have also realized the game is changing. It went from changing every 5 years
Mm-hmm.
to every 6 months
Yeah.
right now.
And the market changes and we have to adapt.
I'm getting chills. I mean, if you wanted to become a realtor, you have a great opportunity to jump in, use AI, because the whole point of AI is to bring I can't think of a good conversion, like a text message to 100 people, maybe 3 of those convert.
Mm-hmm.
AI is going to be able to take that number and double it.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. Like you could potentially, if you wanted to come into real estate, you could potentially make a living the first couple of years and then do really, really good.
Yeah.
Where I'm at right now personally is I'm really trying to create a good landing page. I've never been really good at that. So I've been working on a website and stuff because I want to get more people to see my stuff. So I am going to be super goofy. I am going to post ridiculous things more than I ever have. In
Like
hopes
your house exploding.
my house exploding
With AI.
with AI. It's getting crazy. It looked real, didn't it?
That was good.
We were talking about it.
Yeah.
6 months ago, a year ago, you couldn't do those things
No.
at all.
You needed a team
Yeah.
and lots of money.
Yeah.
And I paid $15 for that. And now I can do that multiple videos.
Yeah.
And I will. But I'm trying to get people to go and click on my website because I really think that people are getting better at using the internet. Much like we are the age of people coming from phone books
Right.
Yeah.
to Google. And I've already stopped using when I kind of laugh because I've caught myself using, hey, Google it.
Yeah.
Just Google. I don't say that anymore because I use ChatGPT or Grok or whatever. And that is 100 times better.
Mm-hmm.
People will adapt to that and they already are. Like even with Chris's story about the person who did all the background research, people are very, very close to utilizing that type of technology to find out information.
Yeah.
And if you are the agent that has a killer landing page, that's the new business card, in my opinion.
Yeah. People look you up everywhere.
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 And,
yeah.
and you, this is going to be good, so we'll write this down, is you have
the
to
camera.
you have to control the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to control, because Google will kick you onto your butt.
Mm-hmm.
Other things will say, hey, why would you use this? But whenever we all know, we're very familiar that people pay so much money to be in that front space of Google. I think that might be disappearing.
Yeah.
And so there's this really cool, neat opportunity is if you can control the narrative, AI will find you. And if you're really good at it, the best at it, you will convert those leads. They'll be able to they're going to have more trust with you. So videos on your front page. That's why I liked your video. And I was like, hey, can I use it on here? Because when I saw that, I'm like, I trust this guy.
Yeah.
Like clean cut, talking, I already know that I could post this and people will be like, I would want to work with Zef.
Right.
And so I want to control the narrative.
Absolutely.
At least that's what I'm going to try to do.
Yeah, no, I think I totally agree. And I want to add these. I feel like a lot of people are a little scared about AI, but AI will never replace human emotions, will never replace that human touch. So don't even be scared about trying those things out.
Yeah, just start hugging people.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
That's enough. He's a hugger.
AI can never take that away.
Oh my God. That's funny. But no, I will say like play with AI and just use it as a tool to, boost your business up.
I mean, at the end of the day, do something that you can have fun in. Like, don't be afraid of hard work.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, like the hard work and all that stuff makes it worth it. And, but don't do something that's meaningless.
Yeah. A lot of people think it's just opening doors. They do get this concept that real estate is like selling sunset, and it's so far from it.
I wish.
I wish, right? I wish, but it's so far from it. Actually, if you take a look at the numbers of those people on those shows, they also have to pay commission. They have to pay a lot. So they do show you like how much commission they're getting for that multi-million-dollar listing. It's a lot less than that number. It's more than showing homes. We gotta talk to each listing agent. We gotta, do a lot of things to even go and show a home. So if you want to join to a real estate career or something like that, think about getting really good at handling objections and really good at talking to people. I will say you don't need to be a yapper. We actually have people here on our team that they're top producers that they don't necessarily like talking to people. But if you get good at doing those reps, I think it comes natural. Yeah.
I remember what I was going to say. One of the things that I think is a big point to remember is that real estate is not selling, right? Selling is pushing a product or pushing something onto someone that maybe they don't really want or need. And, you just have a quota that you have to hit, whatever. Right? Real estate's more of solving a problem, right? You're helping this person go through the process of one of their biggest investments in their life. And you really just are there to listen to what their needs are, help them guide through the process and make it as simple as possible. So I think that's a big thing to remember is that, yes, there are some sales skills in there, but at the end of the day, you're really just solving problems.
What are some things that you guys like about Real Broker and the Perry Group? You guys being on different, you guys have experience. So you guys have seen it all basically. So what are some things that you like about Real Broker and the Perry Group for both of you to close? Okay,
I'm going to start with what you were saying at the end, and then maybe my brain will catch up to the other questions, or Zef can take it home.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a realtor, regardless, if you don't already have a sphere, you need leads. That's it. Yeah. Like you need at bats. You need to be able to have opportunities to sound goofy, make mistakes, but you need real people making real decisions. And the Perry Group offers that. The Perry, you go there and they, of course they got the Zillow, and then they've got other ones too. That just you need everything you can. They dominate social media. They dominate the Google presence. So anybody moving that is clicking into a Utah home, you're going to get connected with the Perry Group. See, that's what you need. Real Broker is amazing. Chavron?
Yeah.
The guy is
a genius.
A genius, legitimately. So I was with a few of the brokers, which again, there's so many good ones. Some of them just are a bit more hands-off. And Real Broker, for being cloud brokerage, they're still so hands-on. Again, I was cracking up at some other things that I saw in a couple other cloud brokerages, but they really had good leadership all across. To be at the level that's a name brokerage now, you have to be good. I think we can all admit that. You have to be good to be where these guys are. And but what I love about Real is that it was really, really practical and really, really easy, because when I shifted into Real myself, I was a solo guy. And what is really nice about Real is their sponsors will communicate with you.
Yeah.
Where sometimes mentors and other brokerages are a little slow to connect with you. I found that the person above me was easy to talk to. The person above them was really easy to talk to. When I had questions as a solo agent, it was a really easy transition for me. But still, I still needed, and what I found through Real Brokers, I found a couple other ways to get me leads. That was before the Perry Group. Now I have the Perry Group. But that's what you need. In real estate, no matter what, even if you're doing well, you need leads.
Yeah.
See, and for me, I think Real Broker does a really good job of just being, I guess, easy to maneuver, if that makes sense, right? You can do anything, and their systems are easy to understand. I came from a brokerage that was in-house, small office, and the part that I loved about it was being able to just walk into the office and ask any questions that I wanted. And we still get that, even though we're a cloud brokerage, right?
Yeah.
We have so many levels that we can also reach out to.
Yeah.
It's not just your broker, but you can also reach out to your team
Yeah.
lead, which we have. It makes it just, the communication is simple and easy.
Yeah.
One of the things that I noticed before I joined Real Broker is how many top agents were joining Real Brokerage,
Yep.
you know? And that to me is like, it stands out because it's like, okay, well, if you're going there, why are you going there? Figuring that out. And then, well, I want to be part of that too, right? So it kind of helps make your decision a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the Perry Group goes, along with getting leads, which is huge, right? Because unless you're the most popular person in the state, you're always going to need new people, right?
Yeah.
The way that I see leads that we get is that I would have never met this person if it wasn't for the team. And where we're at the point where we have so many leads, that's really the only way to really take your business to the next level, right?
Absolutely.
Not only are you going to have the people that you know and in your sphere, and they're going to always be reaching out to you, but now you have this whole other group. And the way that I see it in my head is that, let's say I meet person A through Zillow and person B through Zillow. Not only did I help them, but now their family and friends are going to want to work with me because I did such a great job with them.
Yeah.
So it just really branches out and it opens up the door for so many more people. And then now you have so many different spheres that you can work with and help out and have them send you referrals, right?
Yeah.
So
one of the other things that I like about the Perry Group, because Real Broker is amazing, but sometimes you have to handle really complicated transactions. So you get into a hiccup or something, you know?
Yeah.
And every time
You've
I
had
have
some tough ones.
reached out, my deals are like, my first Zillow showing ever
this is so-
was a squatter. Like someone was living in there. My first Zillow showing ever. And I'm like, I'm glad I came here 10 minutes before. And I was trying to kick him out. The guy ended up showing the property for us.
And this is where I sleep.
Yeah, he was like, I think these are like 10
Can
years
you imagine
old.
being the buyer and being like, this is a good deal.
Yeah, the guy never talked to me, obviously, but
Negotiating this house.
But what I was meaning to say is that every time I need advice, either like very complicated legal advice on the contract, I can always reach out to someone on the team. I'll ask my sponsor, hey, this is the situation, and he will direct me, this is the person you need to talk to. Or like even within our own team, hey, I got this listing, what do I do about it? And it's not just me. Now I have like 6 people talking about, hey, how to land this listing, how to sell it, talk about it.
Within minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, and if I can add to that, I love working and having a leader or someone managing you and helping you through the process that is actually doing it at the same time as well, right? Like they're dealing with the same problem.
Yeah.
They're actually still active and selling and buying homes. So it's
motivating.
Yeah, it's like, well, if you can
go,
do
baby.
it, yeah,
Let's go.
show me how you did that, right?
Let's go.
You get advice that's real and relevant. I have a friend that they're with a different brokerage, and their broker hadn't sold for
Anything,
years. All they did was, they did trainings and things, and it was good, right? But they didn't know the way the shift or the market shifts.
That's so good.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
I think it talks a little more about respect too for the person who is training you and showing you the way. I'm like, okay, I'm totally gonna sit down and hear this person because they're not only selling, but they're top producers.
Yeah, it's like I see your numbers.
Yeah.
You're killing.
Well, you want your leader to run into the battle. I want to say one more thing too. Again, hitting back on the leads thing, because I know that there are going to be some agents on this with question marks on their face and they're going, I don't know where to get business. And I hope that this sinks in, that with the right team and the right group, you are going to get so many leads that sometimes you forget about one.
Yeah.
And that right there is going to hurt some people in hopefully the right way of like, hey, join a team that's going to give you success.
Right.
That's going to give your family success.
Yeah.
And get a CRM.
Yeah. Get out your CRM.
Yeah, get really good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Chris.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming over. This was really fun.
Yeah.
And I got to know you guys a little more. So thank you. Any last things that you guys want to say? No?
No, this is awesome.
Okay. So I'll see you guys on the next one. I got some really cool guests. So thanks for coming over and I'll see you next time. See you guys.